Underneath the night sky sits Darlington Raceway, where it shall conclude this week's NR activities, clearly by coincidence, given their schedules. But tonight, it is iFAR, the big, the bad, the mean, the... I lost my train of thought, but it is the penultimate, the final race of the regular season. I am just out of it. I do apologize. This stream was not my itinerary. It was supposed to be on Cheese Food Media, but Zach, our usual uh, streamer, is not available for tonight. So, and I was only told this 10 minutes, actually 15 minutes now, sorry. So 15 minutes prior. So I'm like heavily underprepared. I legit have nothing ready, unlike Daytona, where I was told a good 6 hours ahead of time for that. So normally I would show you a points graphic, but as I don't have that ready, nor anything else for that matter, I might as well just read them off. 4 drivers heading into this race, actually 6, sorry, are sealed into the playoffs, or better known as the chase for iFAR. William Viola, Landon Lyle, Joshua Clements, Gio Benoni, Stephen Gibson, and Daniel Rodriguez have all solidified their chase spots. Viola currently has a 18 point lead over Viola. I can't speak, dude. Viola has an 18 point lead over Landon Lyles, so the regular season championship is pretty much sealed up. Gives him extra leverage at the resets. 2 spots remain, at least within the top 8. Harry Crawford, 7th place, plus 26. And Cole Rodriguez, 8th place, plus 4. Now, there are 2 wild cards, and I don't have that on me, so I believe it is... I know AGG is one of them. He gave 2 podium finishes, and judging from his lap times, he is going to race tonight, meeting the minimum quota. So, yes, I have it pulled up now. So AGG currently has the first wildcard spot, being 11th place in points. The second wildcard is in the hands of Jolene Sims, who only has 1 podium. And coming off her suspension, she will inherit the second wildcard spot down in 18th, and she'll also meet her minimum start quota tonight. So that leaves 9th place Daniel Rivera 4 points out, and Dylan Negron 10th place 6 out. So it's still not a guarantee on who makes the top 8 and who will make the who will make it, who will not. And for Cole Rodriguez, that's a huge he's pretty much guaranteed into the chase. It's just whether or not he'll use his wildcard spot. And if he were to, I believe that kicks out Jolene. So for Jolene's sake, Cole Rodriguez better get a good finish tonight here at Darlington. So enough yapping, we'll take a look at qualifying. Now that that's completed, Stephen Gibson wins pole award with Jolene Sims with a great qualifying session. She'll start in the front row. Alexander Gonzalez Green and Dylan Negron in row 2. Then is Cole Rodriguez and Tyler Aziz, row 3. William Viola and Daniel Rivera, row 4. July Howell and Joshua Clements in row 5. Ray Crawford and Leda Lau, row 6. Daniel Rodriguez and Garson Muliang, row 7. Fred Beletnikov and William Gregory, row 8. Row 9 has Roman Gonzalez and Jack Lazar, and row 10 has Stollmeyer and Cameron Jameson. Row 11 has Jaden Mitzel and Riley Trawick, while Carl Childress and Liam Tingley will, with no times posted, will start at the rear. This will be a 24-car grid for tonight's events. Not all of them had the chance to make the chase, but any one of them can still make an influence on who makes it and who won't. And like I mentioned, NR2003 community has been going to Darlington lately, so those who've attended BPNR, whether it be D1 or D2 or Essex last night, they have a really good gripe of the tactics used at Darlington, their driving style, and now it is time to showcase it. Eric Crawford, practicing his pit lane, he won the D2 race for BPNR on Wednesday. Had to go up against that driver who just came out of the garage, that being Tyler Aziz. And Aziz, I believe, is the only driver, to my knowledge, has to run all 4 Darlington races this week, so he has plenty of track time. And he is not in reach of a chase, but this is one of his select starts, so he's hoping to make the best out of it. And much like BPNR, this is also a throwback race, so you can see a lot of flashes of the past, if you will. Unlike BPNR, I don't have to note it down, so I'll just have to find them when I can and just mention them. Aziz, and I believe someone else too, I believe it was Chaywick that I saw, who are running, yep, there she is. They're both running Greg Biffle tributes after he and his family were tragically killed in a helicopter crash, or plane crash, same thing. Aerial accident, I'll say that. Lau has a Dale Jr. throwback. This is the blue Menards 81 when he ran into the Bush series. And I'll bring up more of them when we can, but to my point, Darlington, you got 3 winners. No, 2 of them, sorry. Dunn won Tuesday at BPNR. He's not here, so that leaves Crawford, like I mentioned, he won Wednesday. Then there's Jolene Sims, who won Essex Darlington last night. Well, it is pretty much an obvious bit of a misnomer compared to the other 3 races, including tonight. The thing with Jolene is that she comes as a surprise. Her surprise being tonight, including her front row start, but even last night, she won pole, dominated the race, and continued that momentum en route to victory with a late pit call. So that she has some leverage, and she can spark up a late charge in the field if this goes her way, but it is time to race. And make sure everything on my end is correct, and it'd be good to go. So normally I would have a graphic, but that's not prepped up. So today it'll be, well, I guess I could use it, but it's not entirely correct. It is 100 laps. It is Cup Physics instead of CTS. We're not at Daytona. This is Darlington. And it's 2x where instead of 1, and points of no return should be at 5 to go. Keyword should be. But as the field rolls off, after 9 grueling weeks of racing, it has come down to 1 race. 10 drivers have the chance to make the postseason. 6 spots already secured. 4 of them have yet to be decided. Whether it be on points, whether it be on wild card, it is still 100 laps between fates. Gibson and Sims on the front row. Green flag is out. We are underway from Darlington. got one up against the wall already, and they're already wrecking, so that's likely going to be a reset. But that'll be the one and only reset. Yep, iFAR being the most strict out of the week, per usual. No amount of mercy will be provided tonight. And there's the reset of the session. Rack him up, try again.
Drivers, to your cars.
Trying to pull up last season's Darlington race. Here we go. So, AGT, he starts third tonight. He won last season's race, only leading 5 laps, so much like Jolene, he can be someone who might show up late and steal the show. Driver who led the most laps last season's race here was Steven Gibson. He starts on pole, hoping to claim the victory that he should have won. He leading 24 laps that same race. Clemens, he starts 10th place, so he's got a bit of work to do. And especially so if he were to have a shot at the regular season championship. So as the field rolls off again, reminder is 100 laps. Cup physics 2x wear, and point of no return is in effect. No more second chances. It's going to be Gibson and Sims leading the grid off of turn number 4 and into the restart zone. Try this one more time. We are underway from South Carolina. And Gibson already using his tactical warping to scare off Jolene Sims from challenging to the race lead from the outside where she started. Already a couple of one bounces towards the back, but it's going to be a side-by-side battle for second place. Number 18, rocking the Casey Kane inspired Red Bull livery. Oh, there's another reset because Landon Lau has blew up. El Bozo. Oh boy, so I suppose I retract my statement for earlier. iFAR can be a bit merciful.
Drivers, to your cars.
Oh boy. I'm just bored enough to recreate the camera shot I did with BPNR. I'll just sit right here. So who to watch for on the cutoff line? Reminder, it is Harry Crawford who is the most comfy, 26 points over the cut line. The rest of drivers, meanwhile, are in a tight battle. Cole Rodriguez +4, Rivera -4, and Dylan Negron -6. So those are the 3 drivers. Everyone else is mathematically out of the chase. But that being said, Cole Rodriguez, if he were to fall out of the top 8, can rely on his wild card, his race win from the iFAR 250 from the season opener at Daytona. But currently, it is Alexander Gonzalez Green and Jolene Sims with their podium finishes throughout the season. And that will give them leverage into making the chase. Third time's a charm. Pace car heads in. Gibson and Sims on the front row coming off the banking and into the restart zone. And green, green, green from Darlington. Gibson already checking out, much like we've been seeing through these start attempts. Again, it is a side-by-side battle for second. As Angus out green, trying to make early gains. He has Jolene Sims hanging tough on the outside, got Dylan Negron trying to make his way into the chase with the Sam Hornish Jr. Throwback. Hornish or Blaney, but whoever you want to presume. And it's going to be an early caution. That includes July Howell, Raylan Gregory with rear end damage, and he nearly hits Carl Chus, only to almost spin himself out. But regardless, it was a two-car accident, triggering our first caution flag of the evening. Gregory self-spin turn 1. Roman Gonzalez also spins to avoid. Treybeck and July Howell trying to avoid, nowhere ready to go, and end up finding each other. So, not a great start to the race. In turn 1, it's just a tricky place here at Darlington. You could try to take it full throttle, but it likes to bottom out, especially with iFAR setup, so if you ask too much out of the car on turn entry, it'll scrape the bottom of the car and end up loosening up the car a lot more than it should, or what you expect, I should rather. That'll be the better phrasing, as everyone, well, majority of the field, heads down the pit lane. William Gregory already down there trying to get damage repaired. Got a couple of cars staying out, those being the rookies of Valentnikov and Lazar. Haven't seen them challenging at the front in these iFAR races, so with this early out, it should give them a taste of their experience versus the average experience in iFAR. It's going to be Landon Lau who wins out the race out pit lane with Gibson P2. So Gregory's going to be to the rear. He's also a lap down. So I don't know if he'll get his lap back. Not doing much justice to the according to trucks. I've seen the livery before. I believe Troxel said there was a Montoya car delivery. I could be wrong though. It's been so long. Highlight one more. We're going to go. Highlight one more. That being second place of Jack Lassar. Trying a supercars livery. Again, need to remember who exactly. But regardless, it is a Holden, which is stereotypically the Australian brand of Chevrolet. So, it works. It is juice cone time, as you've been seeing these drivers picking their lines and sticking to them. So the two cars that stayed out, the number 86 and 42, both of them go inside. Well, Gibson, the first car on 4 tires, opting outside. I've seen through the BPNR races that the outside is not necessarily the preferred line, but perhaps with some tire usage out of the 86 car, Gibson is thinking he'll prevail on the outside in the early going. And to finish up Lazar's thought is a Mark Seifkar. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it is from his 2000 championship. So Shelby Baletnikov having control of the field. And we'll complete lap 5. Still got plenty of action left here in Darlington County. Into the restart zone. He gets a really good launch. The 42 did not have, or he immediately pulls out of the way. But Gibson trying to make a run on the outside, and he will. He'll retake the race lead. Garson Mullion, who started directly behind him, followed. He moves himself up to second position. Baletnikov, with this idea of seeing go, is hoping for track position. And Darlington is historically one of the toughest places to overtake. Yes, we do have one car. I believe that was Jaden Mitzel, given how far back they are. Oh, we got one more. It's cleaning a save over her. That being Liam Tingley into the inside wall. Still only a single car. But now is not the time to make mistakes. I know it's only lap 8, but you get the potential of the chase on the line. When we 3 wide down the backstretch nearly, it's going to be 4 wide. And that is Cole Rodriguez, who is dangerously not comfy above the cut line, trying to make headway, but is unable to make the move into turn 3. He thought better of it and backed out. Up here, side by side for third, got Dylan DeGraw on the inside of Landon Lyle, but the outside momentum gets clear. DeGraw's gonna have to fend off against Treywick, who she's now under pressure against Alexander Gonzalez Green. This is for 5th place. And number 18 surges in front of her. Benetnikov, after controlling the field, down to 10th place in only 5 laps. That just tires doing its thing. 3 laps may not sound much, but it very much matters here at Darlington. There's going to be a collision between Cole Rodriguez and Riley Treywick, both of them on the inside wall. Caution. And I suppose it's also a lucky break because Jaden Mitzel is on the pit lane. Roller. Yeah. Second caution already, and we're only completed 10 laps. So before I look at the reason for the caution, I do want to find what happened on the backstretch. Someone saved the car, apparently. So this was back a few laps prior. Jolene Sims really sideways. nearly overcorrects upward towards Cole Rodriguez, but she keeps it down the apron. And that was a with her experience last night with a very loose race car, she knows how to control a loose race car, especially on cold tires. So real big props to her. So now up to, let's see. Now for the actual reason for caution. Trina gets the wall, Cole Rodriguez with pinching her up, and that just tapped her around. Maybe getting a better vantage point from the onboard of the 91 car. So you heard Cole backing off, but it was a little too late, and like he anticipated Treywick to bounce off the wall, but just too little, too late. Not enough room, that's the best way I can put it. So we did miss pit stop, unfortunately, I do believe, but looks to me that the top two remain the same. Gibson and Garson will keep the top two and will restart on the front row. Excuse me. Gibson chooses inside while Wu Young chooses outside. Trying to get some of that clean air and potentially pounce on Gibson. See where the others are lined up, or you got Rivera lying up ninth place, fifth car on the inside, Negron second on top, effectively fourth. Crawford directly behind Rivera in 11th. And also Cole Rodriguez, 5th on top, 10th place. So all those cut-off drivers are right next to each other, and with not much breathing room between points distribution, it's effectively a net gain for none of them. But into the restart zone, Gibson launches, and we are back underway. 13 laps down, 87 to go. The thing with these restarts, especially when they're double files, like you want to get settled in as quick as you can, but you also want to be aggressive. And speaking of aggression, that is way too much. We got spinners at the back, that being Roman Gonzalez and Jack Lazar. And nope, no one called it out, so we shall stay green. Right now, if my math is correct, Negron will be 8th in the points, so that means Cole Rodriguez will have to fall back on his wild card. So, in other words, this will kick Jolene out of the chase. Like I mentioned, Cole Rodriguez needs to do well. His biggest fan, that being the 06 car. And right now, the 91 isn't really living up to it. Currently 9th place, but even then, that's not enough. Back towards the front, Negron wanting more points, get as much security as he can. He is right up against Steven Gibson. his previous lap, he was 500ths of a lap faster. This time, it is nearly dead even between the top two. And with the ground, as much as he would want to make a move on Gibson, he likely knows that Gibson won't give up the lead without a fight, so for the ground's sake, there's still... with this 87 lap run, that's likely going to result in a 2-stop strategy from here until the checker flag, so for the ground's case, he wants to maximize the tire life. So he'll tuck in second place for now. Got another Ford Mustang, that being Garson Muyang in third place. Landon Lau in fourth. Alexander Gonzalez Green in fifth. William Viola, looking to be the regular season champion, in P6. His Scuderia Carmona Racing teammates of Joshua Clemens P7. Daniel Rodriguez in P8. Cole Rodriguez in 9th. And Fred Beletnikov completed the top 10. 20 laps complete as the leaders cross the line. And no one's retired, so it's only the 25 of Liam Tingley who is a lap down. He had a spin in the backstretch and didn't have a caution to benefit him soon enough. He's Beletnikov, but he may have fumbled control of the restarts. But he wanting to make moves still. He tried out Cole Rodriguez, unable to do so. He remains 10th place. And that's not going to help him. He bounces off the ball. Here comes Dan Rivera in the Robbie Gordon livery throwback. And he gets close to them, but unable to establish side by side. Just behind those two is the battle for 12th. Got Harry Crawford and Jolene Sims. Jolene Sims, just coming off a 3-race suspension, just gotten back into her iFAR race car for the first time since then. She is the third in line for wild cards, so only 2 wild cards. If Cole Rodriguez is able to be within the top 8, she will receive his wild card because Alexander Gonzalez Green holds the other one. Always getting really messy up here. Got AGG making a move for third place on Garson Muyang. He's still under attack. Got 2 cars behind him. Landon Lyle inside. William Viola outside. And they'll quickly sort themselves out. Yeah, 0-2 on the apron. That's Roman Gonzalez. We saw him spin. And much like Tingley, a caution isn't going to come out soon enough for the 0-2, who's running a Kurt Busch throwback. So he'll make his way down the pit lane. Dan Rodriguez, 8th place. Pretty much reusing his BP&R throwback. Oh, caution's out. It'll be 3rd caution of the day. William Gregory, heavy damage. Pretty much an insult to his injury. That triggers caution number 3, and unfortunately for Roman, he could have waited maybe another lap before taking service. So I'll try to find Gregory. So I don't know if this is the exact reason for caution, but 31 goes up side by side with Tingley, and oh, yep, that's caution where they got Cam Jam. Nowhere to go really, and plows into him. But William Gregory, this is it's one of those things where I'm gonna have to show you this camera specifically to give you the general idea of what happened to him. Actually, he didn't do that at all. I was gonna mention that there's a what I like to call a phantom grip lane where it's actually a void. That's just something that's just hard coded into NR2003 with PTF files. So I was gonna say that was likely why. It's just the 31 got too close to the wall, but no, the Gregory had been loose. He didn't get up to that void, so that's just more or less a skill issue. Now the pit lane, if I can hit the right camera, it's going to be Gibson, Lyle, and Negron in top 3. I'm at Negron was 2nd place, so he loses 1 position. So we got a few cars looking to take the wave around. We do have 2 retirements actually. William Gregory with the damage and Jack Lassar getting involved in more wrecks than he should, so he volunteers to DNF. So all 4 of them will opt for the wave around and they'll drop to the rear. Tyler Z's back down the pit lane. He also has a black flag. Likely wanting warmer tires to compensate. And claw his way through the field a bit quicker. So going to be 29 out of 100 laps here at iFAR Season 16 Darlington, the regular season finale. It is Stephen Gibson, race leader, with Alexander Gonzalez Green in 2nd, Dylan Negron in 3rd, William Viola P4, Joshua Clements in 5th, Garza Muya in P6, Lana Lyle P7, Cole Rodriguez P8, Daniel Rodriguez in P9, and Jolene Sims completing the top 10. Just listed the 2 DNFs. Unless Gregory didn't actually retire. Let me check something. Oh no, he did retire. It's one of those bugs where I can't see everyone, so in this case I can't see 24s, but that doesn't matter now. Gregory is the DNF in 24s. Jack Lassar will work his way down to 13s once the lap cars get by him. There's going to be choose cone. And I'll mention Daniel Rodriguez again because I got cut off due to the caution. But his throwback, reusing it for BPNR, it is in reference to Ken Block, more specifically Gymkhana 10, which is a short film produced by Hoonigan, released in December of 2017, where Ken Block, when he was still alive and prominent to Gymkhanas, worked his way through Siberia, Mexico, and a few United States locations. And I recommend watching, as well as any other Gymkhana. Gymkhana being a point A to point B obstacle race, to put it simply. It was originally exclusive to horse racing, but that has migrated over to motorsports. I think Rodriguez having to rebadge the 65 he normally runs in BPNR to the 20. So it's going to be 70 laps left. That's still barely a one-stop strategy. You're gonna have to cut up even and maximize tire saving. See how the pace changes into the restart zone. Steven Gibson has AGG in tow, and we're back underway. Gibson once again launches well, side by side for second. AGG trying to pick off Dylan Negron, but is unable to do so. Negron gets the speed out of turn 2 to defend against the lead corner. Going to be Clement side by side with William Viola. Third and first, respectively, in the points heading into this race. So, and their team, Scuderia Carmona Racing, leading the Constructors' Championship by healthy margin, kind of, over Sijidan. One up in the wall, that being Landon Lyle nearly cuts off Daniel Rodriguez, still stuck 3 wide. He's going, and both of them have found each other at turn 4. I'm surprised they did not wreck from that. Daniel Rodriguez still stuck 3 wide, but he is forced to give up the spot to Jelani Howell and Harry Crawford, still side by side, that being for, I believe, 10th place now. The scoring has them listed 11th and 12th. Jelani Howell, ultimately the winner of this little charade. And Landon Lyle, who was fighting for 5th, back down to 9th, and now has created a gap between himself and Jelani Howell in the final top 10 spot. Oh, got one up in the wall. That was William Viola, number 27. He was 5th place and back down to 9th, pretty much recreating what Landon Lyle had to go through the prior lap. Well, 2 laps ago now. One on the apron, that being Roman Gonzalez, who is slowing. Probably was just got off the pit lane and didn't want to merge back up into lead lap traffic. Not the night he would want to have. July Howell, another driver reusing their BPNR throwback, this one being in reference to Steve Park when he was driving the number 30 for Richard Childress Racing. Cole Rodriguez, 6th place, who... let me check points again, I do apologize. Yes, with Dylan Negron now actually in the race lead, do apologize for missing that, but with Negron in the lead, that's going to pretty much push him to above the cut line now, because I haven't really talked about how points are distributed here in iFAR. If I'm correct, it is 38 for the race winner. 2nd place gets 33 and continues down 1 less point per position. There is 2 bonuses up for grabs, both of them worth 1 point. One of them went to Steven Gibson for winning pole, and there's 1 more point available for leading the most laps. There hasn't been a clear indication on who has that, but if I had to pick a driver now, after 38 laps, I believe that most laps lap bonus would go to Steven Gibson, which would mean 1 less point for Dylan to rely on unless he were to continue leading and secure that bonus to help him in his quest to make the chase. The Toyota's game knows the tail. Gonzalez Green pushing Steven Gibson down the front straightaway. The 51 car opting not to take that momentum. At top 6, kind of within arm's reach of each other. The two TOs, like I mentioned, the lone Chevrolet of Joshua Clements and 3 Fords making up this sandwich. And with Clements, Tuesday, when he went for that undercut and had the race lead for a good while, but unfortunately lost the race during overtime. So he's looking for a bit of vengeance since then. He does have 1 win, 2 actually. I know IRP, but I'll be real, I forgot where the other one was. I mean, trying to find it as he's stuck side by side with Garcia Williams for 5th, but Clemens easily gives up the position, and he'll give up another one, this time to Cole Rodriguez. A lapped car of Jaden Mitchell, which is a wrong place, wrong time for this particular gaggle. As I'm still trying to search through. It was Homestead. Clements won the second race at. It was Homestead, then IRP. This season feels like a swage, not gonna lie to y'all, but the advent of the chase, there's a whole lot more stories to remember, given this is the first time iFAR has utilized a postseason of any kind. Trying to look back here, Rivera. We haven't mentioned him too much. He entered this race 4 points below the cut line to Cole Rodriguez, and that gap is going to expand given he's now battling Cole Rodriguez for 13th and gets the position on him. But 13th place, and compare that against Cole Rodriguez, who's running 5th, that's not what he wants. And I once again lose, if I can go back to it. Oh no, Ben lost it. I was gonna look back and find out why Gibson took the lead away, but oh well. Bit too far off, and I'm gonna keep you alive. Again, this wasn't in my itinerary. Only got formed 10 minutes prior, and I would hate it if there was no coverage of this race specifically, so... Oh, the grunt got loose off the corner and gets a bump from the 18 car. He keeps the car straight, but he loses 3 positions as a result. And one of those drivers that get by him, Cole Rodriguez. And now with a couple of lapped cars who just got out the pit lane, they're gonna work their way through the field. Benetnikov having to duel with Cole Rodriguez right now. That 90 car just really upset right now. That the driver, but the car, as there's a spin at turn 3. Riley Trawick, pretty much reminiscent of what she did in Division 2 of BPNR on Wednesday. So she's 2 for 2 for spinning out of the backstretch and going bonsai into turn 3 and saving the car. But no caution for any of that. Benetnikov, again, a laps car coming up through the field. He's going to try to unlap himself. He's 2 laps down, looking to become only 1, as we have a healthy amount of pit stops. Stallmeyer just off the pit lane, Bitzel, Trewick, and Carl Childress. All of them likely pushing their tires a bit too much and are paying the price for it. Here we get 92. He's going to be the first that bites. He's going to barely make it down the pit lane. It is a very tricky pit lane to get to. Going from the banking to flats and bogging down from, I believe it is 160, down the back straightaway into turn 3. And slowing all the way down to the 45 mph pit speed. But he will tip off the cycle. We are officially halfway through iFAR Season 16, the regular season finale from Darlington Raceway. Steven Gibson controls the field. Alexander Gonzalez Green with the second wild card in second place. Jolene Sims in third. Cole Rodriguez in fourth. William Viola smacking the wall. He just taking the position over from Garson Bouillon. That'll be for fifth. Dylan Negron in seventh. And Landon Lyle P8. Johnny Howell in ninth. Harry Crawford in 10th with Dan River. Dan River not too far up as he'll take advantage of the limping 76 out of 4. And he's going to put himself into the top 10. So where is Clemens now? He's coming out 2. He just got out the pit lane and it's at 104. That's just his pit exit time. So we'll see how much of a difference this 92 can make. As none of the top 10 have opted to pit yet. Excuse me. It's... I believe this is lap 25 of the stint now, so... going to be 1.5 seconds of fallout, at least with AGG, who's just taken the race lead away from Gibson, who is at 2 seconds of fall off. With Jolene in third place, about to hit 2 seconds of fall off. She's a little ways back from the Toyotas, but she started second, and she won Essex, who went to Darlington. She's used to a loose race car. So she can be a good dark horse pick. Meanwhile, Viola brushes the ball in turn 1 but keeps the position as Cole Rodriguez is nowhere in sight. Gonna be about for 6th. Or 7th rather, that being Dylan Negron trying to defend against Landon Lyle but to no avail. Not helped by Carl Childress, who's on fresh rubber. Carl Childress with the Martin Truex Jr. throwback, I do believe. Just behind him, the Negron smacks the wall again. His passenger side caved in, earning more than a plethora of Darlington stripes. 6th place. Might go to line allow, and he will clear the 70 of Garson Muyang. Carl Childress also makes the overtake, not for position, but it helps Lyle to keep a car in between. So the lead has stretched out a little bit. The number 18 pulling at least a 10th a lap. Well, Jolene is in relation to the 18, 3/10 a lap slower. Three wide, Garson makes a move in between Lyle and Carl Childress, and he'll retake 6th place as the 81 and 15 brush the wall. Allows Joshua Clements, who was the earliest to pit out of these lead lap cars, he's trying to make headway. A little bit of a server jump. At that, number 92 is flying. He got hindered, but prior to that lap, he set at 30.6, which is at least a second faster than the leaders right now. So Clements likely gonna try to stop, as I don't see him making to the end from here. Meanwhile, the rest of top 10 are opting for a one-stop strategy, which is doable, but is a real stretch and takes a lot of commitment. And right now the leaders are bogged down to 31.7s, so this should help Clements in the long run, assuming a caution doesn't come out. '92 got by one of teammates, that being Viola, down for the other of Jolene Sims. She'll be the third wild card if there was one, but there isn't, so she'll be likely the first driver out. She's not able to point her way in, but assuming Cole Rodriguez makes the top 8 in points at the conclusion of this race, she will be able to utilize her wild card. Got Daniel Rodriguez down the pit lane with lap 63 for the 20. Got Chris Stonemeyer. I thought I saw him pit like 15 laps ago, so must have some issue. Cole Rodriguez just out of the pit lane, so he is looking to be the driver to tip up the cycle for those who are wanting a one-stop strategy. Number 91, trying to make 38 laps on this set of tires. Got spin, that being Liam Tingley again, this time turn 4 down the front stretch, but it's only a single car. Dylan, yeah, a good chunk of them at pit now. So Dylan Negron being one of those to pits, as I saw Gibson down at the apron, and he is pitting the lap 65 for the 51 car. Meanwhile, I believe it is AGG who is still on track. He is, but he is coming down this time in response to Gibson. Now this is right at that pit window for those who are trying the one-stop strategy to make it to the end from here. And got Garza Muyang, Cameron Jameson, Jelani Howell, and Henry Crawford all pitting together. Got Jolene Sims following AGG through the pit lane. Gibson leaves as AGG enters his box. The 51 back out on track. Trying to find the 18 who is out. And should easily get the lead. Keyword should. If my math is right. Listed down lap 67. Yeah, that's a pretty healthy margin, so Gibson must have slipped up somewhere. Got one on the wall, dumping Bolitnikov, and he is going to immediately pull down the pit lane, or at least try to. Here's the commitment box. So I'm unsure of how strict the rules on this track are in regards to an unsafe entry. So this gives Joshua Clemens the lead. A reminder, he pitted just before the halfway point. So he's likely going to need one more stop. I'm trying to capitalize on a two-stop strategy. Landalao would be listed P2. He's just pitted. And he is actually leaving. So who will be second? I believe he'll be Talha. Where is he? Also out of the pit lane, so he needs to, and then some, wanting to maximize the tire saving in the first portion to get an advantage in the second half. But unfortunately, that will come undone for Tyler Aziz as he is coming back down the pit lane. It must be a speeding penalty. And much like Wednesday, his hopes of getting a win at Darlington are no more. Two-thirds are, well, lap 72, so closer to the three-quarter mark. Here at iFAR Darlington, the regular season finale. 6 drivers went into this race secured for the chase, and 4 of them. 4 spots are yet to be decided. That's Carl Childress on the inside wall. See the tire marks. So he must have spun at the exit of turn 2. That's turns 1 and 2 are really tricky here at Darlington. But the 8 car makes it back to the pit lane safely. So Clements is riding turn 4 now with the race lead. Second place is Dylan Negron, who has a hungry AGG in his mirror, and he's going to spin directly in front of him. The driver wanting to get into the chase by points, and just hindered himself even further. It's only a single car accident. And much to the dismay of Negron. Carson hits the wall. That will give Julian Howell and Harry Crawford the green light to make the overtake. Howell gets a spot, but Crawford doesn't, and he's gonna have to back out as he gets hit by Trawick. Multiple things happening at once, and he is stuck on the outside of the section, and it is a caution. He is in a dangerous spot. Much like Tuesday, this helps out Clemens. He keeps the race lead, but it's also something he probably would have preferred to not occur, as this will bring everyone back down the pit lane. So under caution number 4. And if I can find Harry. So, multiple things kind of intertwine with each other to make the wreck happen. And it'll be better actually if we go on board with Treywick. So Garson bounces off the wall. This allows Julian Howell to get through. Harry Crawford tried to ball him but couldn't and didn't want to risk it through turn 1. Jelani in the 19 then slides up in front of Garson. That forces William to check up, and with Harry being close to hitting the rear quarter of Garson, he's forced to back off. And Treywick just not nowhere near any reaction time available, and she ultimately hits Harry Crawford into his spin. And it's such a shame for Crawford too. Looking to wrap up the regular season with a top 10 finish. He won the D2 race here, so he has some knowledge of the track, but when you feed an Australian into the wolves, he plummets down the order, and you might as well also assume that he has bad luck here. That's pretty much a given, which is also unfortunate. So, what other throwback haven't I mentioned? I haven't mentioned Cam Jan yet. He's running a Ricky Rudd car, or a Dale Jarrett car. It's Snickers car, regardless. That being with Robert Yates Racing, when they were active. Everyone gonna jot down the pit lane. D-Lab cars, as per usual, go first. Another throwback. I think that's everyone. I haven't mentioned Stallmeyer. He's been having his own troubles this evening. This is a BK Racing livery when they were existing prior to their lawsuits. And this game more prominence on the 23 car they fielded during 2014 to 2018 in the Cup Series. I believe I covered everyone. I didn't have a list ready for tonight, so if I missed any throwbacks, I do apologize. Gonzalez Green wins off the pit lane. Clements and the 92 crew really fumbled the bag here. You've seen it ground getting his damage repaired. He had a few wall smacks as well as a spin from second place. Excuse me. As always, we appreciate Alexander Gonzalez Green and Joshua Clemens, the two admins, for not only their battles on track, but for their brilliant efforts in managing the league. Being an on-track official is not ideal for leagues, but especially when you don't have an off-track admin, but they still do a valiant job of keeping track of the running order and the cautions. So we're not choosing here. Just completed 78 laps of 100 in iFAR. This Darlington Raceway for the regular season finale. Got Alexander Gonzalez Green, who won off the pit lane. He'll inherit control of the restart with Cole Rodriguez P2. Joshua Clemens in third. Jolene Sims P4. Biola in P5. Daniel Rivera P6. Daniel Rodriguez P7. Stephen Gibson in 8th. Landon Lyle P9. Stormers a lap down, so that leaves Carson as 10th place. So I suppose an update on points. With Cole Rodriguez being second, and neither Rivera and Negron ahead of him, he'll be able to defend 8th place, meaning he does not have to use his wild card. So that will give Jolene, the next person in line, the wild card spot and make her way to chase. Rivera is the closest to tamper with this in 6th place. Well, Negron, you saw him, but the damage repair, he's all the way back here, 12th place, and scoring, but is behind all the lapped cars because of a black flag. As we at the choose, going to restart with 20 laps remaining. I don't think there's enough time for Negron to regain all that track position. Like, he was the least likely to get a chase spot on points due to him being 6 points out. Not that it's a big margin, but it's still it's still not an ideal situation. I think he only has to deal with 2 other cars for 1 spot, Rivera and Cole Rodriguez, but both of them are in his worst case scenario with Negron starting in the rear. Both of them are in the top 6. So the 90 of Dylan Negron's gonna have to have some Hail Mary to make his way back up the order and force Cole Rodriguez out. But it's going to be the 18 of Alexander Gonzalez Green in control into the restart zone. We're back underway, 20 laps, no more pit stops from here on out, and we're gonna have an immediate yellow towards the back. I saw Treywick spin. Or that's how Aziz rather. Both of them running Greg Biffle cars. They confuse me, and unfortunately involves his teammate Teddy Crawford again. A restart Calamity to bring out caution number 5. And towards the back here. Our Warman in the 0-2 wheel spun. Aziz already boxed in, nowhere to go. And he also collects the Gron. Likely get on board with him since he was already last place. And with Negron trying to force his way through with Bitzel, when you're dead last and you have a wreck directly in front of you, you already have a huge disadvantage. But that being with the lead lap cars, but it's an act of desperation at these times. Can really cost you. Back down the pit lane is Negron with the worn tires. So he'll line up, I believe, 15th as Cameron Jamison will get the lucky dog, and they'll leave, if I can count, 5 cars still trapped 1 or more laps down. Talaziz being also 1 lap down, hoping for a quick yellow to put him back on a lead lap. At At this point, with no need for another pit stop, well, wave rounds are practically a no-go. So everyone is geared back up, and we shall commence with the choose code. Man, I'm dehydrated, but it'll be 18 on the outside again. Didn't really get good feedback as to whether or not he got the jump on Cole Rodriguez. Okay, I'll correct myself on one front. It's much like BPNR where it doesn't matter whether or not you pit, you get your lap back. Or rather, whether or not the lead lap cars pit. I do apologize. So the lap time cars, if they were to take the ring around, only have to stay out. They do not need to be ahead of lead lap cars. So Rivera and Cole Rodriguez kind of just stuck where they were on the last restart. And Negron has a little bit better track position, but still in the trenches, I'll say. It'll be 17 laps to go when they take the green flag. 18 car in control. And we are green. It gets a better jump on Cole. Going to get himself clear into turn 1. It's going to be stuck side by side third place. Clements versus Sims. And they'll get that sorted. But Rivera is also here to play. He fifth place. And trying to make a move on Jolene Sims, but not fast enough. It just back to the ground. Look at all this mess, and it just about got worse, got a wreck. That includes William Vila, a regular, soon to be regular season champion, as well as Daniel Rodriguez. This will be caution number 6. Starting to lose count already. Just a long night. We're side by side with 2 cars into turn 1. The 20 didn't give him enough space and just spun with the tail happy. That's a spin I haven't seen in quite a while. I'm gonna use this cam just to see. Must be physics, I want to say. Yeah, just a little bit of netcode from the 27. Just spun a 20 and just kept the 27 pinned up to the wall. And there's more wrecking up here. That being Dylan Negron again. Just Negron gained a short end of the stick on these latest cautions. And now he has rear end damage. And he's gonna have to come back down the pit lane to get that repaired. I suppose, but actually it won't help him, but everyone on the lead lap back down the pit lane. This should be the final stop, even with late race yellows as we've been seeing. I don't see any prospect of these drivers returning once this cycle of pit stops are complete. Everyone heads in. It's going to be likely 4 tires for everyone. I won't be surprised to see any 2-tire calls, especially those trying to move up the order. Steven Gibson with 2 tires. He wins the race off pit lane. Garcia likely doing the same thing and gets second place. AGG with 4 tires gets out third. And Negron is actually ahead of... Oh, yeah, no, I was tripping. Negron gets out 6 in line, so he didn't opt for any danger barrier. Interesting. At this rate, you might as well go gambling. You may have an ill-handling race car with the lack of rear downforce he'll have to experience for this, what should be a 11-lap shootout, but well, any strategy he can throw out there to potentially make the chase. And now with this call, he is in between Cole Rodriguez and Daniel Rivera, the 2 drivers he's been fighting all night for the 8th and final points position available. And going to be Juice Cone, Gibson inside, Mu Young outside. Majority taking bottom, leaving some outside spots open for the later half of the grid. So, to remind people, as we head into the concluding laps, it is Cole Rodriguez heading into this race plus 4 points in 8th place. First driver out, Daniel Rivera, he's minus 4. And Dylan Negron, another 2 points out for 6th place behind Cole Rodriguez. So, where they at now won't be enough for either Rivera or Negron. Both of them gonna have the same goal: win the race. But considering Row 2 has Clemens and AGG, that might be a tough order, as well as Steven Gibson, who won the pole award. And he's the type of driver to not give up the lead so easily, especially when it is crunch time into the restart zone. 12 laps remain. We are back green. The 70's wheel spins. It's going to be 3 wide and what it will be 4th place. Cole Rodriguez trying to make the most out of his point situation. He gets by Negron. And Rodriguez once more gets side by side with Clements. He gets clear, and he's also wanting a podium at that. Getting past a friend of his, that being Garcia Young. Anyway, Clements trying anything to win the regular season championship with the William Viola shenanigans a little bit ago. And trying to maximize the amount of points he can get as we have a battle for second. Cole Rodriguez versus Alexander Gonzalez Green. 10 to go. No more saving, it's just a matter of who has the most amount of speed. Caution number 7. Eric Crawford once again Is that even more damage to the ground? Like, this made it. This, I feel bad for him. Like, actually. I have to check replay, but this man has been battered down so much. Entering one. Side by side with Crawford. Oh, that's a heavy overcorrection for A. Crawford and causes a pretty big wreck involving Johnny Howell, Jolene Sims, William Viola. We have to check the steering wheel on the Aussie boy here. Just to see if my assumptions are right. It gets loose and that's just a bad place to overcorrect. And Agrana's given up. Rightfully so. So he'll join the garage with Belennikov, Lazar, and Gregory, as well as Carl Childress. I didn't see them. So, with one driver down out of the count, it is now Cole Rodriguez versus Daniel Rivera for 8th place in points. A lot of people thinking, especially amongst the leaders. So, no more pit stops amongst the leaders. They're gonna have to go for it. Go Rodriguez. 8th in points heading in, and is looking to make his way into the chase on points. He won the iFAR 250 at Daytona, looking for win number 2 this season. He'll line up second behind Steven Gibson, Alexander Gonzalez Green in third, Joshua Clements in P4, Garson Williams in fifth, Daniel Rivera P6, Tyler Aziz P7, Chris Stallmeyer P8, Daniel Rodriguez P9, and Cameron Jamison top 10. With these cars ranking out so late, the drivers who haven't even sniffed at the top 10 are now in contention to not only get a top 10, but if this continues with the Wreckfest, they could find themselves winning this race. It will be choose cone. So this sets up a 6-lap shootout. A point to no return is in effect in this league. Whether or not AGG will be corrupt and use it now, or he'll give mercy and allow a 2-lap window to trigger another caution. That remains to be seen, or in this case, heard through the TeamSpeak communications. Gibson chooses low. Rodriguez outside. So, unless Cole Rodriguez falls off a cliff, he'll make the chase. And that would mean Alexander Gonzalez Green and Jolene Sims will join the 10-car chase grid with the 2 wild cards. If Cole Rodriguez falls out of the top 8 in points, he'll use his wild card, meaning Jolene Sims will be the driver to miss out, as she has 1 less podium place than Alexander Gonzalez Green. So with 6 laps remaining, Hopefully these drivers keep their head straight and provide us with a great finish. It'll be Steven Gibson leading the field, much like he did at the start of the race from pole position. Cole Rodriguez joins them on the front row. Gonzalez Green, Clements at row 2, Muyang and Rivera row 3, Aziz and Daniel Rodriguez row 4. It is restart time. 51 with another great launch. Both the Toyotas get a incredible jump. The Ford of Cole Rodriguez caught sleeping. And he'll drop down to 3rd place. Having to do battle with Garson Bouillon. He gets tapped. It's going to be a crash. And it's going to be a caution. With championship implications. I mean, for Cole, it's... He wants to be safe and point his way in, but... It's just unfortunate. The two Ford Mustangs, Sedan Motorsports are, I think, are at least teammates. Have pretty kept up with the roster, but they tangle through turn 2. And this will likely mean Cole Rodriguez will have to fall back on his wild card. The replay into turn 1. Well, that's not a good angle, but I believe the 91 chopped down. And yep, that's just what it is. 91 chops down in front of Muyang and ultimately wrecked himself. It's when you're desperate to win a race, let alone an iFAR, even ignoring this point situation, it is very easy to lose sight of yourself, your own car, and just wreck yourself in a point of the race where it is unrecoverable. Collected quite a bit of cars to be I can think Josh McClements directly behind Cole Rodriguez, there's nowhere to go. Can I actually check something? Hang on. It's not just a collision with teammates, it's also net code. That's just really unfortunate. Tyler Aziz also collected. He was multiple laps out at one point. Roman Gonzalez spinning out for what should be the 10th time this race. Yeah, man, oh man. I'm legit lightheaded. No new retirements, though. 17 cars on the lead lap with Jaden, Mitzel, and Roman Gonzalez having their races poor enough to be the short end of the stick as we are within points no return. So this will be the final caution period, and their hopes of getting back on the lead lap are sealed. Where is Cole? Back in 16, so that's enough of a distance. 12 positions, so that's 12 points. That's enough to have Daniel Rivera point his way in. And for the 06 of Jolene Sims, she's gonna have to pray that something happens to Rivera. so that Cole Rodriguez can be back in front of him in the points order. Jolene can't do a whole lot herself. She's restarting 11th. The 6th car on the inside, so even if she wanted to be a heat-seeking missile against Rivera, she cannot do that without blowing through quite a few cars in between her and the 15. So with all this drama surrounding the chase, it is down to 2 laps. We still have a race winner to crown. The 2 Toyotas line up front row. They've been the dominant force of this race. Gibson versus Gonzalez Green. Then it is Garcia Munoz's Ford alongside Dan Rivera's Toyota. D-Dog's Toyota and Viola Chevrolet in row 3 with Lyle's Toyota and Travick's Ford in row 4. 2-lap shootout. It might as well be overtime, and it shall be. We are back on the way for the final time. Gibson with a perfect launch. It's going to be a wreck back here. Garcia Munoz spun sideways. Liam Tingley, the short end of the stick there. He has nowhere to go. The 06 loose, but she keeps it straight. Rivera promoted to the podium places. Onto the final lap. With Gibson versus Gonzalez Green. They've been working together for throughout the race, but now it is crunch time. Here comes Alexander Gonzalez Green. It's going to be side by side down the bullwing backstretch into turn 3. League owner, part-time schedule, but still makes a chase, and he wants to win in style. Alexander Gonzalez Green wins the Southern 500. Only leading 5 laps in this race last season. Well, I'm not sure how many the 18 car has led tonight. He's one of those drivers where you don't think about him winning until crunch time. And AGG has delivered once again. So, while the points will be updated live, pending post penalties, it shall be Gonzalez Green burning it down in front of the South Carolina crowd, under the lights at the Lady in Black. But Alex, he didn't need to win. He already had a wild card, but those are purely based off his 2 podiums heading into this race, so that win would definitely did help him. The Red Bull gave him wings, and that is that. That is just one fantastic finish, and while the race kind of just fell into anarchy, it has delivered. So while we're still waiting on the points to be updated, take a look at the unofficial race results. Alexander Gonzalez Green wins on the last lap move on Stephen Gibson. Daniel Rivera, third place. He's likely going to get the eighth place points position, putting himself into the chase. Daniel Rodriguez, fourth place. William Viola, your regular season champion, fifth place. Jolene Sims, sixth place. Jelania Howell, P7. Joshua Clemens in P8. Cole Rodriguez, P9. He took that race car and, man, just worked his way back up. Harry Crawford, top 10. Riley Trevick, P11 with Cameron James in P12. Talon Aziz, 13th. Chris Stallmeyer, P14th. Lionel Al, P15th. Garson Williams, 16th. Liam Tingley, P17, and the final car to finish on the lead lap. Jaden Mitchell, P18, and Roman Gonzalez, 19th. The final car to finish. Dylan Negron, despite all of his efforts, ends up 20th and not making the chase. Onto the second page, it has the DNFs as Fred Belentnikov, Carl Childress, Jack Lazar, and William Gregory failed to finish out of 24 cars. And points have been updated. Let me clear my breath first off. So, while William Viola wins the regular season championship, it was Dan Rivera who claimed 8th place in the points. Cole Rodriguez, forced out, has to refer to his wild card, that being his race win from Daytona. Alexander Gonzalez Green, he was going to get a wild card spot no matter what with his 2 podiums heading in, and now a race win. Leaving Jolene Sims as what would be the third driver in line if Cole Rodriguez did finish in the top 8, when she finds herself out of the chase. Really sucks for her, especially given her suspension. She could comfortably make her way in on points, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Simply don't kill people under caution. So we do have interviews, and per usual, we might as well bring them in. Actually, bring both of them in, because why not?
User was moved to your channel.
We got William Viola and Aria Carmona, SCR driver and a team owner respectively. William Viola, first off, congratulations on winning the regular season title. This race, while it fell into anarchy with yourself getting collected and a caution, you still rounded your way back up to finish in the top 5.
Yeah, I just knew all I had to do was finish 11th. I don't know if I put myself in bad positions or just had bad luck, but wrecks were just happening all around me, and I was getting involved in 2 of those, and there was even one on that green white checkered where Treywick sent it a little deep. I had to accelerate to avoid, and then something happened behind with her and Lyle. Just had to avoid the chaos, and I got so lucky when Garson in turn 1, when he spun out, I saw he went back up the track. I don't know how close that was, but I just had to survive, and there was points where I was thinking this might not happen after the wrecks, but got through, regular season champion.
And for you, Arya, it is obviously a big boost with Will and Clemens locking themselves prior. It has to come at the sacrifice of Jolene Sims, who ultimately got the short end of the stick of the wildcard selection. How do you want to tell these drivers that didn't make the chase to still keep their cheeks up and hopefully uh, allow SCR to still win the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, of course. I think it was a very interesting race that we had. At various points, we were sitting very good. At other points, not so good. And that's the sport, right? Of course, we had Williams securing the regular season championship, which is an amazing achievement in and of itself. We extend our lead in the constructors championship. So on paper, those two things are very good. As you said, unfortunate that Jolene missed out. It honestly was slightly out of our hands with how the race played out, but we did play a exceptional strategy among all of our drivers, as seen in various points of the race, and in the end, it just wasn't meant to be. So we know she's extremely talented, and she's going to keep going for the wins, going for the podiums as she always is. Like that doesn't change a thing about the team. We stay together, we stay united, and we're all pushing towards a common goal. If not the constructors, the drivers. And right now we have two very amazing drivers that's going to go for it for the whole team in William and Joshua. So I'm very proud of everybody regardless, and we're going to keep pushing always, always forward.
And speaking of going forward, how about those chase tracks? We got in order Texas next Saturday or 2 Saturdays, depending on how AGT schedules it. Then is New Hampshire, Talladega, Iowa, and Chicagoland. While you don't have to explicitly mention strategies, how do you how do you go about strategies for those 5 tracks, especially maximizing your two stars of Viola and Clements?
Right. I think we go into the chase knowing which techs are our strengths and which techs are our weaknesses. Of course, Iowa is one of our absolute best tracks, especially in iFAR, so that's going to be a heavy hitter for us. And likewise with Chicago, I believe it is our most winningest track in general in NR. We also know that New Hampshire is going to be a race where we will need to do damage limitation. We do know that the likes of Rodriguez, Gibson, Gonzalez are very there. Texas is so and so. It's also the start of the playoffs, right? So we need to really just see what happens there. And of course, Talladega, anything can happen. So really, we just want to score solidly in these first few rounds and then just really maximize it when it matters towards the end of the season, when the pressure is highest as well. So I have full belief in them. Williams got the confidence of now being regular season champion of iFAR season 16. Joshua, of course, he's won the championship before. He's won constructors championship with us in the past. So, I have no doubt that, William and Josh will be able to get the job done for us. And of course, Liam's won a title with us. Jolene has won for us. So, we've all got the right ingredients to succeed.
And how about you, Viola? Of those 5 tracks, what tracks are you most confident in, and what should be a slump in the final rounds of the season?
Well, first, just being consistent is I know that's what I'm gonna have to do because that's how I got in this position this season. I don't think any race I've really been like the fastest driver, but I've just been consistent enough to. I've just been consistent. That's how I've got into this position. And gonna have to do that in the chase because looking at Texas, Josh is very good there, Alex very good there, and New Hampshire. If anyone saw the BPNR race in D2, Steven just dominated that. He's going to be really strong there. I feel like if any track, Iowa's going to be a bit of a wild card. I haven't raced Iowa in NR, other than that NR race, I haven't raced in a minute. Chicagoland, though, I'm confident about that one. It's really the chaos of Talladega is where it's gonna be. That's gonna be the big decider here. Talladega and Texas. Um, in season 14, Texas, I went flipping into the infield crowd, so hoping to not do that again. Um, it's just gonna. I think those are the two key races. I feel like Texas and Talladega, the chaos that's gonna happen there. I'm just gonna have to limit the damage like I did tonight.
Well, you got one win already this season. Let's hope you win some more en route to the championship. Again, congratulations on your regular season championship, and Arya for continuing to being her best at as her role as team manager for Scuderia Carmona Racing. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you for broadcasting.
Thank you.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel.
And am I tired? But thankfully, no more interviews, as those are the only two that opted to come here. Well, we shall wrap up. I would have a graphic ready, but this was ill prepared. Last second notice, so tomorrow it'll be disarray at Kansas Speedway. Will Carl Childress win a race? I highly doubt it, but it's still worth the effort to try to look for it. It'll be 9:30 p.m. I don't think there's anything Monday. Not that I usually follow much. There is Nurse Card, but who follows that? Let's be real. But Tuesday, we're gonna be back on schedule as planned. It'll be BPNR at Du Quoin. It'll be the only dirt track of their schedule. So their next iFAR race will be at Texas to start the playoffs. I presume there'll be a 1 week break to allow drivers to get their chase schemes ready. So that'll be up to AGG to decide, and hopefully by then, Cheese Wheel Video will be back in business. So, thank you for joining me on what has been a hectic race at Darlington Raceway. Congratulations to the 10 drivers who have made this inaugural iFAR chase, and